So welcome back. Cringe. So we would be taking a look at the second topic. I think we have finished this first topic. What did we see last time? We saw that and we saw the Napoleon Code. We saw how the French Revolution transferred the idea of the nation through many countries like Switzerland, Germany, and others. We saw the areas conquered. We saw everything. Increased taxation, censorship, and basically information. You should read it again so you can understand it better. But let's continue to the next page or next topic, which is the making of nationalism in Europe. If you look at the map in mid-19th century Europe, you will find that there were no nation states as we know today. What this line means is there were no there were no single nations. There were king rules like you see Germany. It was splitted. It was splitted in many other kingdoms, but then it got united as a nation state. What we know today as Germany, Italy, Switzerland were divided into kingdoms, duchies, cantons, rulers had their autonomous power. Better. Eastern Central Europe were autocratic monarchies. Within the territories of lived the diverse people. They did not show themselves share. They did not see themselves as sharing a collective identity or common culture. Often, they even spoke different languages and belonged to different ethnic groups. Now, what does this mean? This just means that, for example, Germany was actually not a whole country. It was divided into kingdom and duchies. This duchies, I don't know how you pronounce that. Sorry for that. Eastern and Central Europe were under autocratic monarchies. Autocratic just means like the people do not get their rights. Plus, it's just a dictatorship. Like you don't get any choice. All right. Within the territories, they did not so these countries did not these lands did not see themselves sharing a collective identity or common culture. They often spoke different languages and belonged to different ethnic groups. The Habsburg Empire ruled over Austria and Austria-Hungary. For example, the patch was a patchwork of many different regions. It included Alpine regions, the Tyrol, Australia, Sudetenland, as well as Bohemia. Alright, the quality is bad, I know. It included Italian-speaking provinces of Lombardy and Vienna. Spoke a variety of dialects. Galicia aristocracy spoke Polish. Now, this is just emphasizing upon this first statement. What this are saying that Austria people of different countries and different groups were often divided on the base of their religion, their dialects, their language, and so on and so forth. What you see right here is just the emphasizing of that one. But it could come that what did the Alpine regions say, like which language they say, or what did the Bohemian aristocracy was language? It was German. Italian speaking provinces of Lombardy people said Italian. And Venetia in Hungary, half of the population spoke Magyar, while others spoke variety of dialects. In Galicia, aristocracy spoke Polish. Besides this dominant group, there also lived within the boundaries of the empire as a mass subject, peasants, people, Bohemians, and Slovaks to the north, Slovenes to the Carniola, Croats to the south, Romans to the east, Transylvania. Such difference did not easily promote a sense of political unity. The only tie binding these diverse groups together was a common alliance to the emperor. Nothing else. Not caste, not religion, not anything like that. What it was only about this. Yes. Okay. Aristocracy and the new middle class. Socially and politically, a landed aristocracy was the dominant class on the continent. The members of this class were united by a common way of life that cut across regional divisions. They owned estates in the countryside and also townhouses. They spoke French for purpose of diplomacy and in high society. Their families were often connected to ties of marriage. The powerful aristocracy was, however, numerically a small group. The majority of the population was made up of the peasantry. To the west, the bulk of the land was formed by tenants and small owners, while in East and Central Europe, the pattern of land. I really thought that was here. Sorry, Central Europe. The pattern of landholding was characterized by vast estates which were cultivated by serfs. Now, what this means is just it introduces to the idea of aristocracy and monarchy. This just started this paragraph, so this is just aristocracy part. What they say is that aristocracy was the major ethnic group of not ethnic, but it was a group major group on the earth. Like there were many monarchies and only monarchies. Like aristocracy was very dominant in Europe previously. These were in France, they spoke French for a sign of high society, purposes of diplomacy and high society. For example, a king has to make alliances with other king. What does they do? Option A: marry their only child to an unknown guy. Yeah, that's it. That's what they do. It's literally what they do. All right, that where were we? Yeah. What does the guy do? Give their only child to an unknown stranger so that they can have peace. And that's literally it. And then the next, it says that these people were small in number, but ruled over a big population, big population. So, so the land holdings were characterized vast, which were cultivated by serfs. Don't know what that thing means. Serfs. Alright. Next para. In the western part of the Central Europe, the growth of industrial production and trade market growth and towns of emergence of commercial classes whose existence was based on production for the market. Industrialization began in inland as in the 18th second half of the 18th century, but in France and the parts of Germany states it only occurred only during the 19th century. In its value, new social groups came into the being, and working class population and middle classes were made up of industrialists, businessmen, and professionals. In the Central and Eastern Europe, these groups were smaller in number. Till the late 19th century, it was among the educated, and liberal middle classes that idea of national unity following the abolition of aristocracy privilege gained popularity. What this means that in ninth standard, we have studied about a middle class. Yes. So what middle class means is it's just a better lower class. They middle class people, they are more what we say, literate. They are more businessy. I mean, yeah, they're just better lower class. They're like if there's a hierarchy, lower class would be on the bottom, middle class in the middle, and the noble on the top. Alright, we got out of topic there. So what this means is just you know the middle class. We all know the middle class. If you don't know the middle class, here's the definition. It's the more liberal and more educated sector of the normal class. People like lawyers, doctors. I'm Asian, by the way. Mathematician, physicists, chemists, biologists. I don't know what that term means. Biologist and sorry, came on my head. All right. Doctor, teacher, car driver, sports driver, which did not exist in this time. Doctors, businessmen, architects, etc. These people who basically earn money. Money is the main point. Without money, you have no power. But these guys have power after the aristocracy collapsed. These guys were small in number before the late 19th century. How much is left? Holy shimata. Alright, a lot. Holy. Oh, damn. I think this could be 2 videos, I guess. um we will do till a new conservation of after 1815, so we will end there. So other than that, what did the liberal nationalism stand for? Ideas of national unity and early 19th century Europe were closely allied to the ideology of liberalism. The term liberalism derives from the Latin root liber, meaning free. For the new middle classes, liberalism stood for freedom, for the individual equality of all before the law. Politically, it emphasized on the concept of government by consent. Since the French Revolution, liberalism has stood for a representative government. Through Parliament, 19th century, liberals also stressed on the inviolability of private property. Yet, equality before law did not necessarily stand for the universal suffrage. What's that mean now? What could that mean? The right to vote. That looks like miserable, like suffering, but it just means the right to vote. You will recall that revolutionary France, which we marked the first political experiment in liberal democracy, the right to vote and to get elected was granted exclusively to property owning men. Men without property and all women were excluded from the political enjoys right to vote. However, the Napoleonic Code went back to the limited suffrage and reduced women to the status of a minor, subjected to authority of fathers and husbands. Throughout the 19th century, early 20th centuries, women and non-propertied men organized opposition movements demanding equal political rights. What does this mean? These two sentences are very big, but they are only emphasizing on little points. First of all, what does liberal nationalism stand for? It's not actually telling that. It's just telling that we studied about the middle class. So these middle class people begin to get the idea of liberalism. Remember that word. It's very, very, very important. The liberalism derives from the Latin root liber, meaning free. So liber means free, and the ism is just like religious, like Christianity, Buddhism, like something like that. Politically, it just meant that people need freedom, like liber means free, so freedom is liberalism. It goes back to the time of 9th and tells how liberalism was introduced by the French Revolution, and it had stood for the end of autocracy and clerical privileges. This just means that French Revolution was the reason for aristocracy and power of clerical privileges died. This part was talking about liberalism, which means freedom, right to vote, and this part is talking about the French Revolution, how liberalism had stood for the end of autocracy and clerical privileges. Now, what does this mean? What this means is we all have like universal adult franchise, or UAF. What it means that anyone above the age of 18 could and we will have the right to vote. What here means that people before the 19th century, before the 21st century, like we are in what again, 2024, but people before 2000s did not have these rights. Like no, not necessary everybody had. They did not have the universal adult franchise. They only the right to suffrage, which means again the right to vote, was only applicable for people who had property, who paid their taxes. But people and women did not have the right to vote. They only there was one time in France that people had a UAF, or Universal Adult Franchise, or suffrage. They but the Napoleonic Code, when Napoleon came to power and crowned himself the emperor, he took away all those rights. Not all those rights, but yeah, rights. He took away some rights of suffrage. Yeah, remember that, please. Don't want to say universal adult franchise over and over again. So remember, suffrage means this, right to vote. Throughout the 19th century, where were we? Oh yeah, Napoleon took away some rights. Napoleon did some tomfoolery. All right. Yeah. During the 19th century, there was a strong demand in the economic sphere. Liberalism stood for freedom, markers, and the abolition of state-imposed restrictions on the movement of good and capital. During the 19th century, this was a strong demand for emerging middle classes. Let us take an example of the German-speaking regions in the first half of the 19th century. Napoleon administrative measures have created out of all right a countless small prince confederation of 39 states. These possess own currency of weights and measures. A merchant traveling from what does this mean? A guy going in a country, going in a country, what would he do? He has so many other currencies, because so many other different coins and other things in his bag. But now after the Napoleon what was that? Wait. Oh, it's I think. Wait. Oh, sorry. Sorry for that. Thought it was the other one. I thought I was saying about this, but okay. Confederation of 39 states. Each of these possessed its own currency, weights, and measures. Merchant traveling. Oh, okay. So I was saying that. Okay, 5% each of them. Duties were often levied according to the weight and measurement. As such, each region of weight and measures through the measure of cloth. Yada. So the merchant, if there's a merchant traveling, they had to collect so many other currencies, but after a time they did not have to take these currencies. It also says that each state had their own weighting subsystem, or aka their own currencies. What is it written? What's this? Okay. an LA material which brought in Frankfurt would get 54.7 centimeter of cloth in mines. This says that every other state had other currencies which you could buy different value. It had every state had different value, different things, and that's the thing. This video is way too long now. Yeah, sorry for that. You should watch this in parts. Like, you should watch the first 15 minutes or wherever I stop on a topic, and then take a break, and then go start it again. No worries. Now that's it for today's video, and we don't take too much stress. Even if it's 10th, if you start today, it would not hurt you. Like, even if you don't understand right now, you would take some minutes, some hours, something, some days, some months. Not some months, don't take some months. But you will understand it. First time reading, you could not understand all of it. Who would? But if you read it for the second time, third time, you could understand all the concepts. It would be like, you can imagine these texts like you are writing in an exam, and these texts would just come imagined in your mind, would be engraved so deeply in your mind that you would remember the print. That's what 10th is about. Just ingraining your brain with information. This what I saw is that in 9th standard the chapters weren't great, but in 10th standard these chapters are actually great. Like in Hindi, which I would be doing in some time. I'm doing all subjects, but I focused on history first because I don't know, it was the first book that came into mind. So yeah, just do your thing properly, and it will be engraved. It will give a reward you in return. These chapters are actually great. Actually read them. See ya. Have a great day.